Alrighty, we got gamers are the biggest threat to American society. What?
It's 2024 and they've gone and done it again. We're back with another attempt from the United States government to tell everyone how video games are causing violence in the world, creating extremists, and
Oh yes, because everybody knows the only types of games that exist are violent video games. Those are the only ones that exist.
Importantly, how they plan to stop it all. This time, the leading cause of extremism is apparently content creators, live streamers, and of course the returning classic, memes.
Oh wait, their data breach history is okay. Leave the multi-billion-dollar company alone. This is the second time I've seen this fucking meme, dude. What the hell?
I read this 45-page document that was created by a branch of the US government. So come with me on this magical, mystical, and often confusing carpet ride to discover how you, once again, are the problem.
I'm the problem. Oh shit, I don't wanna be the problem. I don't wanna be the problem.
First things first, who exactly wrote this report and what's the overall goal? It was created by an organization called GAO, also known as the US Government Accountability Office.
Oh boy. Huh. Let me see. Do a quick scan of the room. Yep, everybody looks like they are at minimum 50 years old. And then it only goes up from there. Okay, good assessment.
This office is funded by and directly reports to the US Congress, with the lead position being called the Comptroller General, a position that is assigned by the US President. The GAO exists, in their own words, to help the government save money and work more efficiently. They basically get paid taxpayers' money to try and hold the US government accountable in their spending and to try and find problems that...
Okay, so in a vacuum, this seems all right. You know, who's going to govern the government? These guys. All right. So far, so good. Oh, all right. I get it.
Need to be solved. This time, the problem they found that needs solving is gaming and social media.
Oh boy, here we go.
In their own words, why exactly this report was initially created. In recent years, content on social media and gaming platforms that promotes domestic violent extremism has influenced several high-profile attacks, according to experts and agency officials.
Okay, in recent years, okay, I don't know what this means. What, like the last 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5, like how far are we going back? All of video games, the entirety of the video game industry is what, 30 to 40 years old or something like that. It's somewhere in there, all right? So when they say in recent years, depending on what the fuck, this is like a vague ass term. What does that mean? Is it like the last 10 years, the last 15 years? Because since people started making, since people were able to start making video games, in the beginning, there were violent video games. All right. So content on social media and gaming platforms that promotes domestic violent extremism has influenced several high-profile attacks, according to experts. Okay. How about they're just a fucking crazy person, and regardless of whether or not they played a violent video game, they were going to do the things that they did. How about that?
As a result, some social media and gaming companies, as well as federal agencies, are making an effort to understand and address online content that promotes domestic violent extremism.
Okay, so games that promote domestic violent extremism. Like, what does this mean? Okay, so domestic, so within the United States, violent extremism. It's kind of like self-explanatory. Extreme violence within the United States, domestic. Okay, what about all the games? Okay, so I'm just gonna give it like a good faith thing and say that they're not talking about video games, like all of video games. They are probably just talking about the very few video games that fall in this category. So you know, GTA, Red Dead Redemption, uh, Call of Duty to some extent. Remember the level No Russian or No Russia, No Russian? I don't remember. And like probably a couple other games.
GAO was asked to review domestic violent extremists' use of social media and gaming platforms. Essentially, they're putting forth the idea.
Okay, so obviously it's understandable that he's going to use GTA in here. Okay, I get it.
Directly
Oh God, he's running over people. Ooh.
that gaming and social media has contributed to some heinous acts of violence. And I'm not even going to disagree with the premise that social media is a place that people become radicalized or communicate extreme ideas.
Oh yeah, because before social media, if you were an extremist, nobody else knew you were an extremist. You're just in your house being an extremist by yourself, like waving your arms around. I'm fucking great, you know. You had no echo chamber to echo your thoughts off of. But you know, since social media is becoming more and more popular, you know, it's oversaturated, to be honest. Like the market saturation for social media is catastrophically immense. And if like you could have the most crazy fucking thoughts, and you can find a group of people that think the same way that you do, 100%, no matter what you're thinking. You can find a little group, go on Facebook, go on Discord, go on X, go on Reddit, whatever, your favorite platform. Those people exist. There is a little group there.
Nor am I even going to disagree that there are pockets of the...
Oh boy. Incels.is. Involuntary celibate. Libates. Celibates. People who lack a significant other. Are you lonely and wish you had someone form and talk to people just like you? Yeah, this is a group.
The internet that foster communities like this.
What is this? Kiwi farms? I don't know what the fuck this is. So bomb emoji, dog. Attachments are being repaired. There's no order. Just wait. Community happening. I have no what Kiwi farms is.
What I am going to disagree with is lumping gaming in there, as well as how they provide almost zero examples of what they claim exists throughout this entire report. Whether you disagree or agree, there needs to be substance to make the claim, but we'll get to that.
Oh.
So let's go over some of the greatest hits of the report. On the very first page, they essentially present a pipeline of extremism that stems from live streamers.
Oh my God, the streamers done did it again. Everything always go back on the streamer. The streamer is the root of all issues. Oh my God. Ha! Live stream, point of origin. Wow. Okay, I mean, to draw a circle, you have to put your pen on the paper. Okay, you got to start somewhere. Okay.
Pipeline, in their words, goes from a live stream to video hosting sites, then to social media platforms and forums, eventually landing on user sharing. Now, obviously, they're not talking about your average Twitch streamer who plays Fall Guys or World of Warcraft.
Both games are extremely competitive. Let's not get this confused. Both of those games he just mentioned, there is a niche. And I am kind of sad to say those games are both extremely competitive. It's just funny to say.
They're talking predominantly about those fringe streamers that are deplatformed from most of the mainstream websites.
Yeah.
The types of people who are most likely deep down conspiracy rabbit holes and foster an audience that are probably on the way towards some pretty extreme beliefs.
Yes. The moon is fake. The earth is flat. They're turning the frogs gay. What else? There's a ton of other things.
This is
the people at that run the world are lizards. Hollow Earth theory is real. It's simultaneously flat and hollow.
Very real thing that exists. My issue with the usage of this, of course, is that there's almost zero context about what or who they're talking about. They just throw this infographic out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a graphic. That must mean it must make sense. So how does video games come into this? You have literally just stated like the function of this is literally what the fucking share button does, is what they have like outlined here. This is what the share button does. Okay, we know how a share button works. Great. How do video games come into this?
This becomes a much bigger issue when you start to introduce the gaming aspect, which they essentially lump in with this entire report. Using the very real
gaming companies, gaming platforms, which is like a silly umbrella term because there are, there are way more non-violent video games than there are violent video games.
Social media bubbles of fringe content to smuggle in gaming as some kind of Trojan horse to Congress. This becomes apparent when you look at their inclusion of an ADL, anti-defamation.
Oh, wait, what was that? What was that? Let me go back. A little bit.
This becomes apparent.
Okay, Center for Technology and Society. Hate is no game. Hate and harassment online in online games 2022. The state of hate, harassment, extremism in online multiplayer games. A report from ADL, Center for Technology. Bro, have these guys ever went like to the park and played with people that just play like pickup games of like football, basketball, soccer, like anything? Bro, people just shit talk. The fact that the only reason that it's so like you see it as it is so prominent online is because people would just stream it, dude. People were talking shit to each other way before video games. All right, and you couldn't like an isolated incident just like you can shit talk someone in your car for cutting you off. There are probably way more instances of people shit talking other people, like having like road rage when people cut each other off, not using blinker and shit, than there are people just calling each other names in video games. All right, 100%. I can't tell you how many crazy ass motherfuckers drive cars and I'll look in my rearview mirror and the dude's doing this. Waving his arms as if I did anything wrong. Motherfucker, I am in the right lane. If you want to pass me, go in the passing lane. You dumb bitch.
When you look at their inclusion of an ADL, Anti-Defamation League article, which represents gaming as a whole as some kind of breeding ground for, and I will quote them here, white supremacy. The ADL report I also read, just to make sure I wasn't getting my wires crossed and I had all the information at hand. The GAO essentially used this ADL report to inform what they're talking about here. This is one of only like 8 sources that they cite in this report to Congress. So the ADL article is important to the points that they're making. And the ADL essentially claims that, quote, more than 4 out of 5 adults, 86%, aged from 18 to 45, experienced harassment in online multiplayer games.
Representing over 67 million adult gamers. And to my knowledge, I think more and more people, just as a whole, gaming is becoming more accepted. More people are playing video games, because you can play games on your phone. I would still consider phone gamers as much as you don't like it. Okay. It's like what I would need to honestly hear the definition of harassment in this, because it's so broad. Like I can understand like people calling each other slurs, like that's obviously like verbal harassment and shit like that. But like that's like the extreme side. What about all this gray shit in the middle? And like on the other side, like is that also harassment? And what about like the little what do you call it? I fucking forgot. But like, bro, I've experienced harassment like while not playing video games. I experienced fucking harassment at the gym, at my job. It's being harassed is just like a part of life.
One of the few things in the article that could explain them reaching these numbers of harassment is this.
Any harassment. Oh my God. Ages 13 to 17. Any harassment. 60%. Any harassment ages, in 2021, in 2022 it's okay. So they're trying to draw the conclusion of like, it's trending up. Well, there was. When was this study done? Okay, so it was done. So remember that little pandemic thing? Why would they use these years when it was like 2020 was the pandemic, and then it was like kind of less, but still kind of in 2021, 2022. People are still like kind of in their houses. You know, they're maybe transitioning to outside their houses. It's like this is such a short amount of time. This is like a clown statistic thing.
Infographic of data where they asked 13 to 17-year-olds if they experienced harassment and then broke it.
Oh my God, it's trending up over the course of 2 years where most people were inside. Oh gosh.
Down by categories. The categories include things like disrupted play, such as trolling or griefing, which made up the lot.
Let's see them apply these same characteristics to see if their argument is true in like 5 or 10 years. Let's see that study.
Largest chunk, and called offensive names, which came in closely behind. So what they're calling harassment is basically if somebody says you're shit at a video game, AFK in a ranked match, or
oh shit,
intentionally feeds.
Oh, okay. You're trash at the game. I am verbally harassed. I am the harass. Oh, I am offend. Report. Oh my God, bro.
Team blocks you in FPS, something like that, something griefing or trolling you. They're basically using this to present an argument that gaming is full.
Bro. Let me see this again. Disrupted play such as trolling or griefing, any harassment, call offensive names, say negative things based on avatar skin, clothing features. Thanks, Asmin / spit. A username or in-game possessions. Say negative things based on username or in-game possessions. Okay. And then what is this? Personally embarrassed by another player. What? What?
To present an argument that gaming is full of these really bad people and it's extremely toxic and hateful, which seems pretty fucking out there as a concept to me personally. They then go on to use this data to claim that, and I'll need to quote you on this just to outline how stupid it is, as a result of being targeted by hate in online games, 30% of young players said they always hide their identity when playing online. Now, I've been playing video games online since 1997. I've never once not hidden my identity in video games.
Yeah.
I don't make my character name my actual full name. I don't.
Oh, shit. Oh. Shit. I think I'm fucking up.
Make my character look like me. I don't change my display picture to be a picture of me. Nobody does this. We all
surely nobody does this. Surely. That guy would be stupid.
all inherently hide our identity just by virtue of existing in video games and always have done.
But honestly, like when I was a young little kid and I was making like online names and shit, bro, I made like the stupidest names, like XX Shadow Sephiroth 69 420, you know, Demon Slayer, you know, like a lot of goofy ass names, dude. I have made a ton of goofy ass names online.
We create usernames and gamer handles and tags. So this makes zero sense to me. They're trying to basically say that due to somebody trolling you in a ranked match or calling you shit at a video game, whatever it's going to be, which we all know people do, they all say outrageous things in games.
It's not just video games. It's all sports. All right? You just don't hear it. Okay? When you queue up in a video game and you got the voice comms on, or you type some shit, it's there. It's logged. They have proof that you said it. If you talk shit in real life, there is no proof that you talked shit. You know, at the park when you called someone trash for missing a basketball shot or whatever. Or like when you go to catch a fucking football pass and you got the butterfingers. It's like, oh, fucking Cornel, you fucking butterfinger bitch. You suck. It's like, I know. I'm sweating. It's hot.
to just try and offend you. Nothing about you personally, probably.
Look at that dude. What the fuck? Let me go back. I didn't notice this.
Whatever it's going to be, which we all know people do. They all say outrageous.
Look at this. He's on the phone, about ready. He's on the phone, about ready to like hit record.
Things in games to just try and offend.
Look at this dude. He's like, "What's up? You guys yelling up there?" This is so fucking funny.
You. Nothing about.
And this is just like a pop off thing. It's like, oh, what? This guy won, and other team is shit. So they're like, oh, we suck. But this guy like had to go over and like start yelling, "Oh, you're trash. You suck."
You personally, probably, because they don't even know who you are. The ADL's trying to make this link that due to that, and they've shown the data, the majority of it is coming from these two groups of what they call harassment, to say that this is making young people hide their identity. And if this is what you're putting forward, I have to question your credibility or what your goal is if you're dragging.
I don't think it should be the person's responsibility to do all of this shit. Honestly, it should be on the game developer. If you don't want certain words to be said in your video game, simply blacklist them so that you can't type them. Or what is it in Call of Duty? Aren't they doing some sort of like AI thing where it's like if you start talking shit, they'll start to just mute you or whatever? I know there's like some game that does that. Yeah, it should be on the developer to uphold these ideals, not the player.
This into your report as if it made any sense or contributed towards an actual point. Now this is where it gets wild. They also polled kids, literal children, ages between 10 and 17,
all right,
asking if they had been exposed to white supremacy. They even specifically outlined to the children.
Bro, I didn't even know what white supremacist extremism was. Okay? I didn't even know what this shit was. Maybe I was like stupid, but I did not know what this was.
Children, that by this they mean the exact
We asked young gamers about their exposure to extremist white supremacist ideologies in various contexts, including online multiplayer games. Specifically, we asked if they were exposed to people who, quote, believe that white people are superior to people of other races, that white people should be in charge, after explaining to the respondents the hateful, racist, Semitic nature of this ideology. Belief that white people are superior to other races. That okay.
Concept of believing white people are superior to other races and white people should be in charge. That is a quote. Apparently 15% of kids said yes, they have been exposed to this in multiplayer games. At which point I'd ask, what the fuck are kids playing nowadays?
Yeah. I don't remember ever shit talking like and using like white supremacist extremism things. I usually said dumb shit like "you're trash," "you suck," and like a bunch of little synonyms like that. We found that 15%. Yeah, it's like, bro, like, why are 10 to 17-year-olds being exposed to that? That's what I would question.
For this to be the case, you don't have to wait.
Like, no shit. Like 10 to 17-year-olds should not be exposed to that, or anybody really, to be honest. Like, the age doesn't matter.
Long, because the answer is apparently Roblox.
Oh Jesus.
Now I obviously don't play Roblox, but in all my
Okay, but like, you know, Bad Business is pretty good.
My time playing online games, I wouldn't say I've been exposed to white supremacy. I've been exposed to people saying words that they shouldn't be saying to try and offend people. I don't think I've been exposed to actual ideological white supremacy, like somebody speaking out a manifesto or something.
Yeah, I mean, same. Like I have been called slurs and a ton of different things, but as someone trying to like read me off a bulleted list of like why white people are good and non-white people are bad, I've never had that happen to me, ever.
Maybe times have changed, but anyway, that's in there. The next section they called ally behaviors, which I'm going to skip for everybody's sanity.
But demonstrations of allyship among young people shared to young people ages 10 to 17 who reported the following behaviors after experiencing harassment. Response: every time, often, sometimes, rarely, never. I let it pass by me in silence. I ignore them. Oh, okay. So I let it pass by me in silence. 18% say they do it every time, or I ignore them. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to read this shit. This has never happened to me. Wait, yeah, let it pass, or I ignore them. Oh, / I ignore them. Okay. I stand up for myself, 83%. Every time I stand up for myself. Okay. Often I stand up for myself. And sometimes. Like, okay, I get what you mean when you said, like, you'll spare me. I talk to someone I trust about what I should do. Okay. I defend myself. Someone reaches out to me. I defend myself. Someone else stands up for me. Like, this age range should not be exposed to, like, any of this, dude.
The next part is really interesting, actually, to prove a point that I'm trying to make. And this is where they give a statistical breakdown of which games these kids are reporting being harassed in.
Oh, damn. I thought Valorant was, like, the friendly one. Oh, Jesus.
And since we've seen that they're using trolling and saying bad words as personal harassment in video games.
Jesus. All, like, damn near close to 80% on all of this shit. Okay, well, here's, like, your most toxic communities ever. I mean, shit, it's fucking Fortnite. Since when is Fortnite toxic? I mean, understandably, I would probably guess that it's like the upper echelon of like skilled players that are just talking shit to everyone, because like with building skill and all that. I'm not like trying to justify it or anything. I'm just saying that like I would probably say if you have been like a victim of like toxicity or like harassment or something like that, it's probably in like the upper level lobbies of like Diamond Plus. It's not so much in like Plat and down, which is where most people reside in terms of like rank in video games. This is hilarious to me. And Roblox down here in like 79%. What's this one?
You know exactly which games are going to be at the top of the tree. All the
Bro, I am so surprised Valorant. Valorant was like, bro, isn't like the audience damn near close to like 50-50 guys, girls on Valorant? Like, what the hell? But this is supposed to be like ages 13 to 17. So what about all the ages that are like 17 and or like 18 and above that play Valorant? Where's all those guys? This seems like a cherry picked stat. Like, how many people? All right, if this is a group of like, I don't know, let's say like 1,000 people, but the entirety of Valorant is like millions of people, well then obviously this looks bad. But when you put it in terms of like the entirety of the Valorant scene, it's like this is fucking nothing.
Competitive team-based ones, obviously Valorant.
Yeah, everyone's like trying. These devs, man, they're like always trying to peddle. They're like team-based shit, bro. Like, give me a shooter where I can play solos or duos in. Don't give me this fucking 5v5, four-person squads, 5-man thing right here. Fortnite is like, what, like 3s or 4s or something? I don't know. PUBG is like the same thing. You have like, what's the main mode peddled? It's like 3s or 4s or something like that. CS, it's like 6v5. What's CS? Like 6v6 or 5v5? I don't fucking remember. And then Roblox is like a bag, dude. It's a bag of like whatever type of games. You know, like the only time I played Roblox was to play this one video. Like, I don't know what to call it. Like, it's a game, but I just played like a Minecraft version of like some shooting game where like you can like mantle over everything and like wall bounce and shit. And I was like, damn, this is fun. I was just playing like as a solo, and that's my only experience with Roblox.
Call of Duty, Dota 2, Fortnite, PUBG, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and the list continues.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto, the usual suspect. Yep, Apex Legends is on there. Oh my god. What? Wait, 13 to 17. Ages 13 to 17. Apex Legends. What the hell? Oh my god, that's so funny.
So essentially, the ADL has built a statistical basis that claims harassment in online games is growing and causing people to do heinous acts in real life because kids log onto a competitive game, get told their shit, called some names that are probably based on shock value and nothing to do with them personally because they don't know personally who they are.
Yeah.
Get trolled.
Bro, I'm telling you, I was so stupid when I was a little kid. 100%. I didn't know, like, I was socially stupid when I was a little kid. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what this report is. And just for the record, 3 of the people that were experts that consulted on the GAO's actual congressional report work for the ADL, so were probably in some way involved in this report. This gets worse when they get to the section that they talk about adults and their experiences of...
Okay, this age range. All right, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking with gas. Now we're cooking with jet fuel. Number 1, I'm just going to go out on a limb. Number 1, toxic community. Good old World of Warcraft. Holy shit. Bro. I was like trying to get like, you know, reacquainted with World of Warcraft the other day. And what was it? I spent multiple hours trying to fix my HUD, fix my, like everything, like downloading all the add-ons, getting reacquainted with my talent spec, and I was playing like a disc priest or whatever, and I had my buddy tanking, and apparently there's like, in the heroics of classic Lich King, it goes up to Gamma status, so I'm like, oh, okay. I get acquainted with my keybinds and shit, and we started like going. Holy shit, these guys, like the 3 DPS, it was more than 3. All the DPS bros in this Gamma, they all wanted to just go at this heroic at breakneck speed, like F1 Formula 1 racing speed, and I was like, damn. Okay. I mean, thank God I was able to fucking like show up and shit, but goddamn, like, God forbid we just like wait a single second for me to top my mana off. Like, the type of people that play World of Warcraft are like 100% like ages 30 plus people. Like, not too many people that are like younger play like World of Warcraft, and they're just like just on the younger side. But holy shit, dude. Like, I'm even typing to these guys, hey, can we slow down a quick sec? They're over. It was bad, dude. Oh my God. I can't imagine a more toxic fucking community. Like FPS, like I thought FPS bros were pretty bad when it came to shit talking. Like, god dang.
Of harassment. The ADL claims that from their data, 17% of adult gamers experienced doxing, as in having their personal identifying information like full name and address posted.
Well, that's not good.
Online. And that also, get this one, 12% of adult gamers in America experienced swatting,
Jesus.
which the ADL define as having a stranger make a false report to emergency services to target somebody. So they're claiming, out of 60 million American adults that play video games, 7.2 million of them have experienced swatting.
That number seems like absolutely ridiculous. Like 7.2 million people have been swatted. Knee-jerk reaction. This number seems way too fucking high. Like what? I would 100% see like way more people like popping up on social media be like, I was swatted, I was swatted, I was swatted. Like, this doesn't make sense to me.
With also 10 million of them experiencing doxing, which I'm just...
10.2 million doxed, which is essentially just all your personal information, like your address, social, driver's license, credit card, and all that other bullshit gets exposed to the public.
I'm gonna say, I don't believe these numbers. I don't believe that they're real.
Yeah, dude, this just seems like way too much. Like, like I would need more proof. Like I would believe this if they showed me every single person. Like if they came out with 7.2 million names of all these people that were doxxed or swatted, like then I would believe it. But you can't just fucking slap a goddamn percent on this number and be like 7.2 million swatted, 10.2 million doxxed. That seems like way too much, dude.
There's no way I could conceive of this being true. Obviously, I know doxing and swatting do happen,
Yeah.
but to random people in video game lobbies, at a combined rate of 29% of 60 million people.
Yeah. Like, this is about 1 out of 4 people or 1 out of 3 people are either swatted or doxed. So chances are, if you're playing a game that has like 4 players in there, the chances are one of them has been swatted or doxed. Does that sound like it makes sense? It doesn't.
There's not a chance that that can be the case. That would mean statistically, every game you join of, say, Valorant or CSGO,
Yeah.
with 10 people in there, almost 3 out of the 10 have been doxed or swatted before due to a video game match that they played.
What a clown statistic.
That number just feels absurdly high and reads like fiction, created to support a narrative that makes gamers appear to be considerably more dangerous than they are. Anyway, that ADL report is a video all on its own. I obviously have gone a little bit deeper into that because...
But I'm looking forward to seeing that video.
This is a large basis for the rest of the GAO report as it pertains to gaming specifically. I just wanted to give you a background on what this report was using when it was presenting this narrative to Congress. This is what they claim is a factual basis for their objective reporting. Now, not only do they use this ADL report as a source, they also use the Department of Homeland Security report called Homeland Threat Assessment 2024, the Federal Bureau of Investigation and Department of Homeland Security report called Intelligence Assessment and Data on Domestic Terrorism, a January 6th report on domestic terrorism, a PEW Research Center social media fact sheet, Entertainment Software Association's Essential Facts about US video game industry, and last but not least, the US Secret Service Mass Attacks in Public Spaces report. You can find all of those within the main GAO report, which I will link below.
Ooh.
So it seems like most of the gaming inclusion here comes from that ADL report, and that specifically comes from a mass shooting event in Buffalo, which they linked to gaming because the shooter released a manifesto stating he was radicalized by a Roblox custom game.
Oh my god. I'm just saying, I probably wouldn't be a nationalistic if it weren't for Blood and Iron on Roblox. What? This guy was crazy before Blood and Iron on Roblox. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Which we've seen before with people claiming after they've done something really
Look at this.
bad.
Like,
That
you think this is enough? You think, like, Legos. These are Lego people. Seeing Lego people, like, hit each other with swords is enough to turn someone into a white supremacist. This is what you're telling me. Lego people. Minecraft people. This is it? This is the peak?
video game made them do it, which is obviously nonsense. It's not engaging in reality. I don't know why we'd believe these people. There's obviously something wrong with
Like, look at
them
this.
to do that in the first place. So to then say what they've written or said makes them a trustworthy narrator and we should take on surface level what they think did this to them is ridiculous as a concept. It's never the video game. It's always a mental health crisis and a failure of society to help that individual. The avenue or venue for the radicalization is hardly relevant, nor is it ever the actual video game. It's always people they meet who share similar ideas, which then makes it not about gaming at all and about the core issue of mental health. And
is there a particular person that radicalized you the most? Yes, his name is Breton Harrison Torrent. Breton's live stream started everything you see here.
any tool to communicate or find peers, which is why these reports always miss the mark for me, as they focus entirely on things like gaming being an issue, ignoring the fact that gaming is not the problem and never has been. They totally miss the forest for the trees. You should be trying to solve people's mental health and what's leading them to this path, instead of skipping that step and just saying, let's try to monitor these places where people are meeting. Which again, I think on the totem pole of how people do these things, gaming is probably very low.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the GAO report. They then outline, and I'll quote the section.
Like, look at like some of the first violent video games. Doom. All right, you're gonna tell me Doom, like shooting demons, Diablo, like shooting demons with like fireballs and electricity, that could have caused you to be like a raging crazy person. Doom. Like what are some of like the oldest video games? Like I'm trying to think.
Section, ways that domestic violent extremists use online platforms, and then they show an infographic talking about memes, essentially saying, and again I don't necessarily entirely disagree, that people use memes to spread a message to a large audience, and then a small portion of people that message reaches and resonates with move to a private communication group. Then, of that small communication group, an even smaller percentage of those people might wind up doing something radical. This is not untrue. This does happen. I know we've all seen some incredibly racist, sexist, or otherwise outrageous memes on social media. And of course, you can use anything that's popular as a way to convey an idea for anything, positive or negative. But I'm going to hazard a guess that most of the time people sharing those, even if they're bad, even if they're memes based on things most people consider bad, they aren't on a mission to recruit people to any kind of cause, and are just sharing them because they find them funny.
It's literally just like shock humor. That's all like, yes, there's going to be like a percentage of people that think this is like real, but I think for the most part, people are just like making these and sharing them because it's just shock humor. That's it.
Obviously, I don't agree that they're funny, but I don't think everybody who shares something that's, you know, some kind of way is out there trying to recruit people.
Bro, you could easily figure this out. Like, no one's, like, I would say most people are not trying to recruit people, all right? They are literally just sharing things that they think are funny. That's it. And then... yeah.
And we have examples of this, so that's why I don't rule it out as existing.
What was that? Use subliminal messaging humor and memes to normalize violent extreme ideas and spread them to global audience.
And we have examples of this.
Today, I saw a woman crying her eyes out and almost couldn't control my laughter. This guy is fucking unhinged. Like, this is not like what a normal person's behavior. Like, I don't even need to read any of this. Like, just like this alone, this is like not normal. This is crazy.
So that's why I don't rule it out as existing.
Video games did not cause this. All right. Why are people always wanting to blame the video games?
We can just look at things like involuntary celibate, or better known as incels. These people do see and share these memes, then they end up in a community where they get further radicalized, and then things happen. They have done, we've seen them. The next section discusses the mass shooting in Buffalo and makes an absolutely wild leap of logic. They claim that due to the gunman putting a camera on his head and then carrying out the attack, that he was, quote, replicating the visual style of a first-person shooter game, which is utter fucking nonsense. It's just a convenient place to put a camera, which is why it's used in pretty much every outdoor activity video ever. They just...
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he tried to make that, like, connection, but, I mean, I don't even know the incidents he's, like, talking about. Like, maybe he's, like, trying to recreate, like, an FPS thing if he's doing, like, all this parkour shit. But, again, it seems like putting this shit on your head to do the, like... Remember the movie Hardcore Henry? Hardcore Henry did an entire movie from this perspective, like, the first-person perspective. And Hardcore Henry is like a cool ass movie.
Just put a GoPro on their helmet. There's zero link to the idea he was trying to replicate anything.
Yeah, there it is, right down there. You can see it right here.
And again, this just discredits the report and exposes the clear agenda directly in the face of their stated mission of objective and neutral.
Replicating the visual style of an FPS. Or how about it's just a convenient place for parkour bros to put a camera on their head, dude, so that their hands can be free. How about that?
Reporting. The GAO report goes on to make some incredibly silly assertions, such as this section that basically says gamers make friends in games, and some of those gamers might be extremists, so somehow making friends is bad or something.
Okay, some experts, online gaming platforms. Some experts we spoke with explain that violent extremists use online gaming platforms to engage with and befriend other gamers. Yes, there's obviously some like a very small portion of crazy ass people that do this. In particular, they said this strategy builds trust, social bonds, and gameplay setting and makes it easier to spread their ideas. Yeah. For example, gamers may meet while playing together online and then use gaming adjacent messaging platforms, Discord, where gamers often gather socially to further connect and build communities around shared interests, social connection. Okay. In this way, these platforms can also provide a social space for violent extremist content to spread. What? Discord is not a fucking... I know this little paragraph doesn't mention Discord, but it's like, it's come on. Like, they're talking about fucking Discord. Bro, Discord is not the root of all evil when it comes to providing spaces for extremists, okay? Or maybe it's not even Discord. Maybe it'll be like some little group chat from like Facebook Messenger, or like a group chat in X or something like that. Just some random ass what do you call it? Like group message thing from your favorite social media. This is consistent with an IA report that said domestic violent extremists. Okay, whatever. This is a leap. These platforms can provide a social space. Bro, any fucking platform can provide a social space for violent extremists. All you need to do is just start a fucking chat room, and then boom, there's the platform. It's not the platform's fault. What are you talking about? Violent extremists use online gaming platforms to engage with and befriend other gamers. Of course, there's going to be a fucking couple of niche motherfuckers that like use games to like make friends, but like it's not the game's fault. You can do that with any platform.
Then I don't know exactly what the point is here, to be honest. They just say some extremists make friends in games, and that could be a bad thing. The funny section comes up next, where they basically contradict most of what they're claiming with a single sentence that reads, "One expert noted, there is no evidence directly linking violence in video games to real-world violence."
Okay.
But they then go on to immediately hit you with the "however," and then say that extremists will use certain games to target people who play violent ones, and even make their own games to recruit people, which again makes...
Wait, let me read. Okay, one expert noted there's no evidence directly linking a violent video games to real-world violence. Okay. Caveat. All right. However, another expert said violent extremists may selectively use video games with audiences they believe will be more receptive to violent extremist information. So this guy is trying to say that this other expert is trying to say that certain video games harbor certain audiences that hold certain views to make it easier to target people to recruit for their video game, like their like crazy extremist groups. Bro, this is like a leap. Like the amount of the people that are actually doing this is so small. I'm not gonna say it's like not what do you call it? It's not happening. Like there's like, it's not like a zero, but it's bro, I would have to say it's like less than 1%, less than 0.5% of crazy people that are trying to do this.
To target people who play violent ones and even make their own games to recruit people.
Violent extremists make and disseminate their own games that glorify, normalize past violent extremist incidents. Is this fucking article referencing that the school shooting bros, the guys that made the video game of the school shooting video game or whatever, with like the two dudes? I forgot the name of the school. If that's the example they're referencing, that is like one person that made that game out of millions of gamers. All right, you're gonna use the exception to the rule to make a justification for everybody else. What the fuck are you doing?
People, which again makes it not about the game, because there are no mainstream games created that have any kind of sizable audience you can point to that exists with the intent to recruit people to extremism.
Yeah, there are no mainstream game. Like maybe like there's like some like random ass game on Steam or like some other platform where the concurrent player base is like 2 and it's like the developers in there. But that's not mainstream. Like who are they recruiting? They're recruiting no one.
If these are the leaps of logic you're making, you basically can replace the term video game here for written or spoken language and bring the ability to communicate instead of video games, as there's zero way to link any of these things together as a cause, and the actual vehicle for recruitment is just the ability to communicate, which you can do in pretty much every avenue that people use on a daily basis.
Yeah, you could do this in books, magazines, newspapers, movies, TV shows, so on and so forth. You can do this with all of any form of communication to try to recruit people.
Yes. This is like blaming electronic mail for people being extremists because somebody can email somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, as soon as you allow people to talk to each other, if they find somebody who's into the things that they're into and they're bad things, of course, they're probably going to get together and talk about the bad things. This is nothing to do with video games.
Yeah.
This next part's pretty crazy.
According
to some companies they spoke to, big tech and social media in particular, they assign human workers to specifically monitor people who they believe are, quote, bad actors. Not just on their platform either.
Wait, let me see. Oh, of course he's going to drop down Discord. Officials from all 5 companies told us they have teams of staff who review potentially violating content identified through machine learning tools or other reporting. For example, Discord officials told us that they do not take any action against flagged content beforehand as it's been reviewed and confirmed as violating platform policies by a human reviewer. Okay, that's good. All 5 companies allow, I don't know what this means, like all 5 companies allow users to appeal moderation actions taken against them or their content and use human reviews as a part of this process, officials told us. 2 companies have staff who proactively monitor the behavior of bad actors on other platforms. Okay.
Not just on their platform either, meaning they employ people who follow them around digitally to other platforms and mediums, compiling reports and keeping tabs on them. That's the social media companies doing that, not the government. That information is then obviously going to be shared with federal government. This next part was pretty funny, to be honest, until I thought about it more. The GAO report links certain profile pictures on social media to violent extremists. They state specifically that many white supremacists use ancient Greek, Roman, and Norse imagery to, quote, create an aesthetic that supports their narrative.
Okay, that's it. Anything Greek is bad, anything Roman's bad, anything Norse is bad. It's just the logic that they're using. Okay, so from now on, anything Greek is racist, Roman's racist, Norse is racist. Okay, this is what I'm getting from this little part. Because if they're gonna make these like jumps up here and like links, then they have to link this too. Because if they didn't, they'd be inconsistent.
Now this on surface level sounds ridiculous, right? But I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Almost every time I see someone saying some deeply racist or sexist shit on my Twitter timeline, they almost always have a picture of a Roman centurion or some old Greek statue.
Really?
This was obviously funny to see in a government report because it sounds stupid, but at least anecdotally, this one tracks with what I've personally seen. Though
Oh,
obviously
wow.
the issue lies in grouping people together as if they're all doing that if they have the
Bro, what the fuck? I mean, if it's true, it's true. I mean, I can't fucking lie, like bullshit about the truth. I mean, that's kind of crazy if it is.
same profile pictures, because at the end of the segment they specifically state one of the experts noted that this type of imagery may not directly violate company content policies, but it helps draw others into this worldview, which doesn't even mention the people using these pictures doing anything. It just draws a line.
I actually never thought about this, like, at all. This is not in my, like, view. Like, I never would have put this together.
Under those profile pictures and says they're bad. One last thing I want to highlight, the report also states the federal government is
Oh shit, I could think of one person who's like one big name person whose image is like a Spartan. Oh shit. It ain't going too great for that person either. Oh god dang it. Ugh. What, so I can't like Spartans now and shit? I liked the movie 300. I thought that was badass. Now all these crazy ass extremists ruin fucking Spartans and shit for me? God damn it.
collecting evidence on social media, which we already
This is why we can't have nice things.
knew, but now you have it in black and white that if you post some memes that they consider to be an issue, you're probably now on a list. But unlike Santa Claus, where you have to do something really wrong, it could just be you posting a Pepe or something, which, let me remind you, the ADL still considers a hate symbol. Have no fear, though,
Really?
because the federal agency responsible for collecting your memes and your social media information does not join Discord servers, so gamers are mostly safe from this.
Okay.
They're not really allowed to go anywhere where they would be required to interact with you directly, presumably due to entrapment or something like that, so they just stick to public places. That being said, throughout these reports there are also claims that Discord is a bad place and also somehow complicit in creating extremists and radicals.
What? Bro, doesn't the fucking government use Discord? I'm pretty sure... That guy's a mushroom. Doesn't the government use Discord too? What the fuck? So is the government racist?
Just like gaming apparently is. The reason they come to this conclusion is solely because it can be used for bad people to communicate, which again, anything online can be used to communicate by bad people, but
Yeah.
they obviously feel the need to point at gaming and Discord specifically. So to me, clearly this report was completely lacking in any form of evidence, factual or objective reporting, despite the claim that that's what the GAO exists to do. They use terrible reports from the ADL that make zero fucking sense, to be honest, to lump gaming into the equation when this report should have focused solely on social media, which they can probably make a much stronger case for. Obviously, you've got big people on these alternate social media platforms that do run live streams and post videos.
I don't know who any of these people are.
That have some pretty extreme beliefs, some nationalistic beliefs, things like that. But you don't see that in gaming. It just seems like another time where gaming's getting blamed for something that it really has nothing to do with, despite not a single study existing that links violence to video games, even the most violent games in the first place.
And honestly, bro, when GTA 6 comes out, be prepared for this to happen all over again. All right? This is going to be, it's going to be so fun for like just the internet and everything to listen to every news station give their 2 cents about how bad for society that Grand Theft Auto 6 is. This, I can't wait, man. I'm gonna get my popcorn. I'm gonna get my little bottle of water and shit. Oh my god, I cannot wait to hear the logical jumps. I'm probably gonna watch some of these fucking like little bits that the news does to try to link violence and video games together. Yet again, it's gonna be so good, dude.
I do want to say that obviously there will be examples and cases of people finding each other in video games and then going on to a private server somewhere and eventually maybe doing something radical like the report claims. That's common sense. Any avenue where people can communicate with each other presents the opportunity for this to happen. And obviously
This game, this Lego guy made me be violent. This Lego guy. Just think about it. This Lego guy made me be violent.
Games that host user-generated or created content, such as, for instance, Roblox, are games that are more likely to have this occur. Games that host player-generated content, as well as games for children, probably do need more strict monitoring and moderation.
Yeah.
For example,
Yeah, that is true. If you are going to have like a game where the ESRB is like what is it? Like the 13 and under, or the E for everyone type of thing, even though the ESRB is like an entire fucking clown organization to begin with. Even if you're going to go by the ESRB, you have to, as a developer, be more voracious in your moderation. But as we know, devs don't want to do that. That just makes it more, that's just more people you have to pay. When you got to pay more people, that just means you, as like the top dog, don't get a lot of money. You get less money. All right? Look at World of Warcraft and all the shit that's happening in World of Warcraft. You'd be lucky. You have a better chance of winning the lottery than talking to someone like in World of Warcraft. Everything in that game is automated.
exactly those reasons. But to take the entire gaming industry and just throw that to the wolves over a concept that is so common sense and apparent, with zero evidence of any of the claims outside of saying it can happen, is wild for a government agency to be doing.
Yeah.
They may as well say the internet, the postal service, the local town board, talking in the street, the telephone system, or any form of communication is the issue. That would make just as much sense as saying specifically gaming is the problem.
Yeah. Phones are evil because that's where extremists reside. Mail, conventional paper on mail, is extremist because that's how extremists communicate. Talking face to face to someone is extremist because that's how extremists communicate. Like, what?
What bothers me most is that these reports always present everything as bad. They state that gamers can become radicalized, but they don't mention that gaming can also bring people together, create friendships, help people who might be struggling with isolation or on the path to radicalization by bringing them into situations with other gamers who enrich their life and unknowingly bring them back from a dark path. They would rather pretend that gaming is somehow an issue or that any of these problems are inherent to the medium. Gaming can give people a place to belong, introduce them to kindness, companionship, and understanding, but in their world...
Yeah, because, you know, everybody can't be a fucking LeBron James. Everybody can't be a Steph Curry. Everybody can't be Tom Brady. Everybody can't be a Lionel Messi, you know? And a lot of these guys are just dudes that are trying to do something competitive that they enjoy. All right? If your whole thing is like, oh, figure out what you like to do in life and just do it, why would you try to take certain things away?
They only see the bad. And the scary part is that the report was accepted with the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI agreeing to their recommendation, which is incredibly vague in the first place. But anyway, there we go. Another example of gamers bad. There was over 250 pages of documentation here between the sources.
Dang, 250 pages condensed into 22 minutes. Thank you, Kira.
So if you want to go read, enjoy. It will all be linked in the GAO report, which you'll find down below. And remember, next time you post a meme, they're watching you.
Yeah. Damn, dude.
It's 2020.
That is crazy. That's a really good video. This fucking this thumbnail's hilarious. Oh my god. This is a great video, man. Thank you so much for combing through all that and like just showing us like the bullshit that's going on in some of these reports. I mean, what can I say? That was a good ass video and I want to see more like that, dude. That was so good. But yeah, that was pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one, all right? Later.